Let's go to the beach. Beach. Let's go get away. They say what we're gonna say. As I drink. Think about it's hard to come by. Welcome to the Daily Grind. That's Nicki Minaj. Minaj. I love Nicki Minaj. She's great. Welcome to the
I'll
Daily
say,
Grind.
I'll say to make her get the tweet. You know.
I know. I do that on purpose. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Luke Hatmaker, and I got Parrish with me on this lovely Monday. How are you, brother? Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, definitely, man. Doing well, man. Appreciate that. My dad, so I didn't serve in the military, but my dad did. So definitely be giving him a call today. But yeah, doing well. The Grizzlies had a great weekend. My NFL team lost again, so need the Grizzlies. Lucky they played Sunday night.
Man, we are. It's nice to share that. It's like, oh, cool. The Bears not only got beat, but got beat by Drake May. So we're just gonna not talk about that. That's for another show where we wallow in our misery. We don't got to wallow in that Grizzlies game though, man, because they, well, it's tough to say they dominated when you're playing the worst team in the league. Maybe, I mean, that might be tough. I thought the Wizards were more in it than the Blazers, and that's tough. But the Grizzlies just completely deconstructed this Blazers team.
Both of them.
Both of them. Friday and Saturday, it was just like, okay, let's dismantle what we see in front of us because we're the better team. And I told Rusty in the NFL, you're an NFL fan. I'm a firm believer that good teams beat bad teams. You don't lose to bad teams, and the Grizzlies did not lose to either of these bad teams after losing to teams that they are better than earlier this year. They've just kind of righted the ship the past two games, I would say. You were in the building for the Wizards game, yeah?
Correct. Yep.
Between that and then what you saw last night, let's kind of combine them both since we've not really got to talk about the game Friday. What have you seen between those two games that have really giving you pause for excitement, I guess? Because there's been some not so great news. We're going to talk about the Ja injury news later, but there's been some good stuff out of these two games.
Yeah, of course. Starring Scottie Pippen Jr. Yeah, triple-double Friday, which I was funny. I started paying attention to it, I think, early in the third quarter. I saw he had like 8 rebounds, 7 assists, and like 7 points. I was like, oh, okay. Got to get triple-double. Like, he get close to that. And nobody was really noticing it. Then once he got closer, like, oh, yeah, he about to get it. It's so funny to talk to him after the game, Friday out there. Him and his pop, Scottie Pippen, are the only father-son duo to ever have triple-double each in NBA history. So that was just, right. That's like amazing history, considering all the fathers and sons they're playing, including his own teammate and Jaren Jackson.
Yes, or some bonuses. I was like, man, that's like
bonus. Yeah, I would have thought them.
I was like, there's got to be somebody out there, and I don't know. It's kind of nice that of all this father-son talk, which the LeBron talk. It's great that they're playing together, but it's like, how much? Sit down. We got a first father-son triple-double here. It's great.
Yeah, but the combination of both games, it's just an amazing ball moving, the ball handling. I just saw shout out to Wayno. He said Luke Kennard had 11 assists yesterday. Jacob Rayfield had, I want to say, 8 assists Friday. And let's give Jacob Rayfield a shout out. I know he catches a lot of flack, but he's had a great week since that contract to get renewed. Even that night against Milwaukee, he had a good game. So
since Halloween,
he's had a good game. He's been good since then. He's been a positive. I think he has the highest plus minus on the team, and he's been a plus in every single game since the first loss to the Nets. He's been a positive on the court ever since then. So definitely had to give Jake a shout out. Especially all the flack he's been catching. And everybody else, I mean, we got a deep team. I saw someone said, I think it was, our buddy Chris Ingram said, Taylor Jenkins. He don't want Taylor Jenkins' job when everybody gets healthy.
Man, because like we're talking about, how many guys played? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys almost played 20, at least 20. J-Huff was 20 seconds away from playing a full 20 minutes. Like, these dudes are, I'm about to sneeze. Woo. Bless me. Go, God.
Bless you.
I'm just getting excited talking. Oh, God. That's what I do when I talk about the Grizzlies. I get excited. We're talking about, I feel like no one's talking about how deep this team is. I was just listening to a podcast this morning talking about how deep the Warriors are, which they are, but like, these dudes are Brandon Clark didn't played 16 minutes last night, and he still played a good game. You know, like we're just in incredible shape as far as like I just fast forward. Well, let's rewind a little bit. Do you remember this time last year, or maybe not this time last year, but do you remember how you felt when these injuries started piling up last year, and just how
deflating.
yeah, man, like it was tough to just get. I mean, you know, we were having we were having to go in there and talk. You were having to go in there and talk to those guys. It's tough.
That was rough.
Yeah, it's rough. I don't feel that way with this team.
You know the difference, and I was trying to think like, what's it? Well, I know the huge difference. Ja Morant has played 8 of the first 11 games. That was the last year he was out the first 11.
Bingo.
Also, you had 2 other players, your 2 big men, essentially out for the season. Steven Adams was out for the year, and Brandon Clark was recovering from the Achilles he just tore in March. So he was out potentially for the season, if not at the very end of the season, like he came back. So you were missing 3 players that you knew you were out until December. At least mid-December. At least this year is like G.G. Jackson is the latest person, late December. Everybody else is expected back this month, essentially. So it's very different feeling. Plus, you're deeper. Your players, Scottie Pippen Jr., J. Hubs, they're better than Jake LaRavia is better than Jake LaRavia last year.
Yes.
David Roddy, Zaire Williams, you got better pieces than they were last year.
That's such a good point. It's like Jake LaRavia is playing better than the Jake LaRavia minutes that he was getting last year. And, you know, it's
but this time last year, end of the season, Jake was different.
Oh yeah, man. This new Jake, I don't know if he's more comfortable, but I think it was Art that said it earlier in the comments. Shout out Art. It's Chet's out too, man. These injuries are piling up. We're going to talk about injuries here in a minute, but the Jake, he has earned. He is playing like John, like a better, more improved John Conchar. It's like you know, like he's doing all the hustle, all the hustle shit.
He's doing everything. Yeah,
it's that hustle stuff that everybody likes, you know, and is he slow-footed? Yes, but he's a pasty, chubby-looking he's a pasty-looking white boy like me, and it's just like he is out there playing really well, all things considered. You know, it's like Grizzlies Twitter we like to complain about Jake when we're really complaining about an 11th, 12th guy on our bench who, if he's kind of. I was really, really hot when we signed Jitty. I loved John Conchar. Me and Daniel Gurr, I think we had like a whole 2-hour show once upon a time where we just were like, let's just talk about John Conchar, which is just weird. Yeah, it's really weird. I love him, but when I was a little like, oh, he's making a lot of money. But if Jake LaRavia can make that money, like I think Jake LaRavia could get a contract that's a few million less than what we played Jitty. And honestly, like he's earned it. And he's the first 10 games, 11 games, like
11, yeah.
I mean, he's been the most. Is it weird that he's been the most reliable guy that we've had out there?
Right, he is. I mean, like I said, I think he has the highest. I believe he has the highest plus minus on the team. That speaks volumes, and he hasn't been in that negative on the court since the first Brooklyn loss, and even that game it was a -1. And before the game, it was 0. It was even when he was on the court. So I noticed that last night because I was writing an article on Upright Fan side. I'm like, wow, his worst has been -6.
It's
now,
and that's crazy.
On the court with as well, but it's like, dog, that's crazy.
It is crazy, man. Like, because that's crazy too. Because one, I mean, God, we talk. You write about. We all will preach until we're blue in the face about the development, the development stuff, the developmental coaches, the developmental system that is in place in Memphis. Like these guys, it's the growth that Jake has shown just in a season's length of games is really impressive. And considering how like bad he was, you know, like when he got drafted, it's pretty impressive. Right. It might be one of the most impressive things Kleiman's done.
And you know what? The biggest gripe for the people who was defending Jake when he was bad was that he hadn't played enough because he kept getting hurt too. He had injury issues his rookie year, and even last year he had got hurt after his bad start. So it was more like, hold on, if he actually played more, maybe he'll build up confidence and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm shout out to him because we needed him to do what he's doing to help survive this
Yep.
this first beginning stretch because you're missing 3 starters essentially.
Yes.
With Marcus Smart, Desmond Bain, Ja Morant, missing GG events, missed Luke Kennard into the last 3 games. We needed him. We needed Jay Huff to come in and do better than Xavier Tillman and who else we had last year? Bismack Biyombo, Trey Jemison.
Well, then it's like we're replacing the Jacob Gilliard minutes with Scottie Pippen Jr., which like that, I loved Gilly, but
which he did. Yep, he did provide good moments too, but he ain't Scottie Pippen Jr.
No, he is not. The one thing between these two games before we move on to the biggest, I would say, news from the weekend, the switch, because Brandon Clark has started the last 2 games. He started Friday and then he started last night with Edey coming off the bench. Is that, I mean, did you get a chance to talk with anybody on Friday? Like, is that something that is how long are you thinking that's going to last? Was that a matchup thing with just these 2 teams, or do you think?
I think it's matchup dependent. So I did because they won by almost 30. That was the last thing that crossed my mind after the game. Everybody, they won by 24. So last thing you think about is like, I don't know, why you didn't start him? I completely forgot it. It was like, I don't know, he didn't start him. But I think it's matchup dependent because the Michael Cole had brought up. Someone asked him that on Twitter yesterday. And he brought it up in the preseason when he did the same thing. He had put in Brandon Clark to start the game, then put Zack Edey back in the starting lineup. He said it was pretty much going to be a matchup dependent thing, and throughout the season he switched it up. I know they started, DeAndre Ayton started yesterday, but I forgot about Donovan Clingan coming out the bench. So
it was
matchup dependent. Hey, I want him to match up with the other Ricky, see who's better.
Yeah, well, I mean, he still played, like, Edey still played, I mean, how many more minutes? He still played almost 10 more minutes than Brandon Clark. Jay Huff played 5 more minutes.
About me, when people be having these arguments about who starts and whatnot, I'm like, it matters about the minutes. Like, does it really matter if Marcus Smart starts? Does it matter if Zack Edey? Like, does it really matter? Oh. It matters to the players because you hear your name in the starting lineup. You hear your name, but in the grand scheme of things, I haven't seen Zack Edey start and play 14 minutes. He came out the bench and played 22 yesterday. It's like,
as long as we win, who cares? Like I don't. That's where I'm at, and then it seems like that's where these guys are getting. Shout out everybody in the comments. There's a bunch of y'all joining us. A lot of new faces too. I see. King Meeks is asking, when is Marcus Smart coming back? I did see he was updated doubtful yesterday.
Knowing how the Grizzlies operate, it'll be questionable because that was Lakers. Sunday. They don't play again to Wednesday. He probably be back Wednesday because if you're doubtful for that game, they always move you to questionable. So he'll be a game time decision Wednesday, and that's another 2 days rest before the game.
It's quietly, I kind of. Marcus was the one that I don't know. I expected him to be out longer. That ankle, when he came down on that ankle, I was nasty, but it's we're getting him back.
Ankle injuries are like I sprained my ankle plenty of times in my life and playing hooping. So ankle injuries are it just depends on how the severity of it. It's normally to me a 2-week injury, but then again, you see Cam Spencer. He had the same ankle injury for the last month, so it just depends on the severity of it.
Yeah, God, good. I mean. Any word on that? Is there any word? I feel like that's the one I keep forgetting he's injured.
He sound like the one that's the farthest away out of everybody. Except Gigi, outside Gigi.
Yeah, and which I mean, that's a good problem to have. Which while we're on the topic of injuries, unfortunately, it was announced. It was yesterday. I guess it was yesterday that Ja Morant's status is going to be updated on a week-to-week basis. It's a bummer. I don't know what else. It's a bummer. I mean, so he's going to be on for 3 games. We got 3 games this week.
At least this week. Yeah.
I'm not a doctor, but there were 2 things on the injury report, and one of them was kind of fancy language. I don't like. Yeah. I get nervous when they do that.
Very detailed.
I'm like, well, I don't know what that is. I don't know. It worries me, but maybe they looked at the schedule and were just like, we can go. I wouldn't want him out there every game. This team is clearly better when he's on the floor, but if the Lakers keep playing not great, maybe we can just keep whooping up on these teams that are worse than us, like the Wizards, like the Trailblazers. I mean, that's what I would hope for this week. I don't. Do you know? Have you heard anything? I mean, what do you expect? Nothing.
Kind of hard to know what to expect. As far as I know, it's more of a pain tolerance deal.
Okay.
Yeah, can he deal with the pain? So it might be something that lingers a little bit, but knowing Ja Morant, he normally works his way back quick.
Yes.
From like these type of injuries. I remember the time he had a bad ankle sprain. They said 3 to 5 weeks. He came back in 2 games.
2 games. 2 games.
Now he bought him the rest of this season, but he played. So knowing Ja Morant, I think this week you might see him back this week.
Yeah.
It just depends on how quickly it heals and how he can manage the pain. But he can be back sooner than we think. So I'm gonna look at it as week to week. I know this week he's probably out. Then we just review and see how he is next week. But the good solace we have is Marcus Smart's on his way back. Vince Williams Jr. sounds close. They sent him down to the hustle to practice last week, so he might be back. Also, I'm sure Desmond Bain, he was week to week as well. So at that point, Bane and Ja might be coming back at the same time.
Jane's good. I mean, call him Jane. That's good. Man, can you imagine like getting? I mean, we're already like we're last year we made do with what we had. I feel confident with what we have this season. We're more than making do. We're exceeding, I would say, because instead of Jacob Gilliard, like we said, we've got Scottie Pippen Jr. going out there, and I just watching him out there. It's just it's become the story. It seems like every time you look on Twitter, it's like, man, how many people can you believe the Lakers passed on him? It is pretty insane because the dude is out there like more than doing his best Tyus Jones impression, like looking really, really, really good as a point guard in the NBA. And I just between Jaren still looking as if he's a unicorn, he's a unicorn. And when you run through your unicorn, man, like we're learning how like he can carry this team if he needs to.
Yeah, and it's so funny to think back to the preseason and mostly Adam Scottie Pippen Jr. It was just like, oh, he can't pass, he can't make sense.
Yes.
I'm like, no, you can't, no, yeah, y'all don't give folks, y'all tough out here. Like, y'all don't give players no time to try and build chemistry or nothing. Y'all gotta remember Scottie Pippen played in the last half of last season. He was killing it for one, but he didn't play with none of these guys. So it's another development of chemistry that has to take place. And now the chemistry is there. So you're seeing Scottie Pippen look much better passing the ball, right? And he's still doing the same stuff he was doing with scoring and shooting. So, hey, Scottie Pippen, now that defense is tenacious. And going back thinking about Jaren Jackson, man, last season, and we all figured it when we saw all the different things he was working on, bringing the ball up the court, posted up more, taking on small defense. We've been asking that for years. Anytime you got a smaller man on him, give him the ball.
Just everybody.
They finally learned, right? They finally learned, and he's looking like a pending superstar.
Yes, it's just nice for, like you said, for those of us who've been talking about that for years, who've been clamoring to see it happening. It's really nice. It's nice to feel like we're finally being heard, even though I know that's not what's happening. One more thing I want to ask just before we take a break. Is TJ, have you heard anything about what he's dealing with? I know our thoughts and prayers are still with him. I know he's dealing with the death in the family. Is there would you know if it's still going to be Tomas?
Well, TJ returned last. So he left. What game was that? Wednesday when they played. Who they played last Wednesday? It was that game. He left. He came back for Washington, and he was back.
Is he doing okay?
Back last night. He seems okay. I mean, I didn't go to the pregame, so I don't know if someone asked him during pregame, but postgame we just talked about the game. So, he seemed okay, but
I just know that can be tough.
Definite family. He did leave for a game, so
since he left for a game, I just worry. I worry that there's like lingering stuff. I just hope that he's okay. I just want to know, like, if he seems good in the in any sort of presser, then even if awesome. Do you know when the first hustle game is? I see Daniel asking. Do you have any idea?
The first home game is tonight.
Tonight? It's tonight, right? I thought it was.
I think they already played a road game, if I'm mistaken. I thought I saw some on Twitter saying they played Rio Grande Valley, saw some highlights or something, but they definitely played their first home game. I think so. Because I saw someone, I'm thinking this based off of Twitter. I saw someone on Twitter say,
I think it was Pereira. I follow Pereira. And he
see you at Landerson tomorrow.
Yeah, man. I'm excited to watch the hustle. Shut up, Drew. I have been at a music festival all weekend. Leave me alone. Coming at me. I meant the hustle. It's one of the. I feel like a lot of these teams aren't excited about their G League team. I love the G League. I love the hustle. If you get a chance to hop down there to South Haven and catch a game, do it. It's really fun. Those guys go out there and hoop. It's awesome.
Yeah. And you got Yuki Mania. Got the Portland Trailblazers fans cheering for him. Dude,
is there a more universally, like globally liked player than Yuki Karma right now?
It can't be. It's only him. And I was on Grizz 901 Friday night after the game, and I told Greer and them that he reminded me of the guy, Kisei Tominaga from the point guard from Nebraska last year.
Yes,
he had the same aura. He did the hype up the crowd. He did the same thing, the same stuff. I think he was. I don't want to get his ethnicity wrong, so I'm not gonna say. I don't want to
Man, I love it. How did Yuki got 7 minutes last night? Is there the more Yuki the better? You can never have too much Yuki. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, I'm excited to do this with you. I've never got to do. Oh wait, yeah,
he was Japanese as well. The guy I was just talking about, he was Japanese as well.
Man, and between Yuta Watanabe, I love those guys. I love those. Give me those. I love them. They called the guy from Nebraska. They called him the Japanese Steph Curry, right? If I remember.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Dude. Yep. It's awesome. Can't beat it. We're gonna take a quick break, and when we get back, we're gonna talk about Mondays and lasagna. I've never done this part with you. I'm excited. Right after this quick break.
I think Zack Edey played well. He got his fouls in. He got him in for sure. But we saw some flashes of really what he can do. Whether that's setting screens or just blocking shots or just making guys change their mind about shots or just affecting the quality of shots that guys were getting in the game. We saw that a lot. They gotta use him though, man. They gotta be able to find him a little bit.
I was about to say they especially the whole first quarter. It was like because I think that lob that Ja had him, that was his first points of the game. So it was like the whole first quarter. I did peep that. It was like I see everybody else attempting 5+ shots.
Right,
y'all gotta find a way to give Zack Edey something like at some point. Everything was running well last night, right? The offense was flowing well. It's gonna come a stretch of time where they're gonna be stagnant, and at that time, that's when I expect them. Okay, hey, let's run the post play to Zack Edey.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
This is a question I don't know if you've ever been asked. Was there anyone you ever wanted to dunk on?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm glad you haven't getting a big kick out of that one. I'm glad you've been waiting all day for that. Waiting all day to get that little jokey joke in. Oh, you got a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to dunk in the game. That's what I wanted to do. And it didn't have to be on anybody. I wanted it to be off of a missed shot, like on an offensive rebound, so that everyone's around or in the vicinity when it happened.
Did you ever dunk in practice and get overly excited?
Yes. and everybody be like, well, are you going to do it in a game? I'm like, no.
Tune in to the Night Court Podcast with your hosts, Rob Fisher and Brevin Knight, on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the daily grind. Man, you're sitting in, I was waiting for it. I was like, you better be sitting in the same position as you were in that. It's going to be, it's awesome. You can catch all that. What is it? It's Monday. So we should have no bluffing later today. We've got Night Court every Wednesday. We got Sane Show every Wednesday and Friday. We got Grizzlies 901 every weekday after the game. I'm missing. Oh, $2. I was forgetting the $2. We got the $2 sports show every Friday. They would have been pissed if I forgot them. But we got a lot. We got a lot going on, man. really stuff for everybody. If you don't like my show, which I can't imagine why you wouldn't, there's plenty of other stuff to watch. You know, like we're doing good stuff over here. Back to our show though. On Mondays, I'm excited for this, man. I've never done this with you. I love Garfield the cat. I don't know if you know this about me. I know you've watched the show. I think it's hilarious. I grew up with my nanny, and we would read the Sunday comics, and I thought a cat that was mean to its owner and overate was the funniest. That's the funniest shit in the world to me. I thought that was really funny as a kid. I don't know why. So I think it's important, as I have grown up, to acknowledge both the good and the bad in life, because I don't think you can fully appreciate the good without acknowledging the bad. And I know Garfield doesn't do this, but I like to imagine he does. So we like to acknowledge the good and the bad from the weekend. Our Monday, the bad thing, and the lasagna, the good thing. I can go first. So I'm going to be the most basic white man ever. I broke my phone and my screen is like, and dude, let me tell you, I did not realize how dependent I was on being able to see properly. But I'm like minimizing my screen to, like, anytime I text somebody, I'm like, okay, I type the message out, I minimize it, get to the bottom right corner, and I'm like, proofread. Nope, that's not how you spell Parrish's name. Let's go back. It's been awful. It's been awful. And I've been at the beach, which that's my lasagna. I've been at the beach, so I'm not complaining. I was at a music festival. It's like I don't need my phone on the beach anyway, but I've got to drive back today, and guess what? This isn't going to work. And I don't know what I'm going to. We might end up.
Nap quiz.
Yeah. Oh God. Print off. You remember printing them off?
Take it back.
God. What did we used to do in this country? Wow, man, we were crazy. But that's my Monday and my lasagna. How about you, brother?
Oh man, now I only have one specifically. I guess, man, just the importance of an alarm clock. Because we started this at 7:30, and I told you I'm off work today. So, but I called myself setting my alarm for 6:45, and the importance of an alarm, of the difference between AM and PM. Because I woke up at 7:22. Saw the sun there. Like, hold on.
Yeah, great.
What time is it? 7:22. Let me hurry and get up. Let me get up here and brush my teeth and stuff. Look at it. That's my alarm. Did I hit the snooze? 6:45 p.m. I say,
And then at that point, you're like, wait, what if I would have slept that late? It's like, that's where my head goes. I'm like, can you imagine? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the importance of an alarm clock, or sleeping early. Like I said, I'm off work today, so I didn't go sleep till later.
Yeah.
Like 1 o'clock and stuff. So it ain't one of the nights that I'm trying to go to bed early. So, but I got up in time, and we're here.
Yeah, that's right. Dude, thank you again for hopping on me, brother. I really appreciate you. That's gonna do it for the show today. I'm gonna be back tomorrow. I'm probably I don't know who I'm gonna have with me. Hopefully Drew. I'm gonna try to get Drew in here with me. He doesn't know yet. Grizzlies are off until Wednesday when they play the Lakers. We'll still be here. We're still gonna have shows for you. Tune in today. No Bluffing should be dropping today. Jess Benson is happening over at Grind City Media right now. Go check her out. Yeah, and just have a great Veterans Day, y'all. All the vets out there, thank you for your service. I can leave you with anything today. Just these two things. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit, and remember to smile. See you guys. Have a good day.